Hey friends, today I need to change the deck drive belt on my Troy-Bilt Pony 42 riding lawnmower. These belts will wear out periodically. You should probably change them every so often. If you don't, they're going to break. And mine broke the other day when I was about halfway through cutting my lawn. So I need to replace it today. And there are other people out there that need to replace them too. So I'm going to show you how I do it, and maybe that will be helpful to you. So let's dig in. Go ahead and lower your mower deck all the way down, because in order to replace the belt, we need to take the deck off. So by lowering it all the way down to the ground, we're going to give ourselves a little more room to work with to get the pins off of the mower deck. On the front, you need to remove the pulley guard, the bracket that is around the pulley in the front underneath the engine. In order to do that, we need to remove this little bolt that is going into the frame. You're going to use a 1/2 inch socket, and an extension on the ratchet makes this a little easier. You can see the bolt is right up underneath the frame, and so you're just going to reach up under there and pull that bolt off. That's all you need to do. Get that bolt out, and then we'll be able to remove the guard around the pulley. So we'll just take that bracket off, and now we can remove the belt from the front pulley. The next thing we need to do is take the mower deck off. There is a pin that holds the raising and lowering mechanism on the deck. Take the pin out, remove the raising and lowering arm from the front of the deck. In the back, there are 2 pins, one on each side, that hold the raising and lowering mechanism to the deck. Take the pins out. And pop the raising and lowering rod out of the back on either side of the mower deck. There's a spring that is attached to the pulley. This is used to engage the belt and disengage the belt. There's a spring that needs to be removed, and then there's also a cable that needs to be pulled out of the mounting bracket. By pulling the pulley to create some slack, it makes it very easy to remove that cable from its mounting bracket. Now, when you try to slide the mower deck out, it will get jammed against these raising and lowering mechanisms. So the best thing to do is just to reattach the rods to the bracket, but don't attach it to the mower deck. Do that on both sides, and then you will be able to go back and just simply use the lever on the mower to raise up the mechanism. That lifts everything up out of the way so that you can easily slide the mower deck out without it jamming up against the raising and lowering mechanisms. So we just raise back up that deck, but the deck is now on the ground. It's not attached anymore by anything. You just simply pull it out. And now it's much easier to work on things. We're going to remove the deck pulley covers. There are 3 screws that hold it on, and it's pretty easy to get that out of the way. And with those off, it'll be much easier to manipulate the belt around the pulleys. Some people might try to do this without taking the deck off or without taking, and I don't know if it can be done, but it's just a pain. So might as well just take the mower deck off of the mower, and then you can simply get the belt off. Now when we get ready to go put the new belt on, here's a diagram that shows you how to route the belt. You want to go ahead and wrap the belt around the pulleys. There's a couple of places where it's kind of a little bit of a challenge to get it in there. You just have to work it in. You can move the engagement pulley to help get things in place. And again, there are a few little places where it's a kind of a tight squeeze and you may really have to work to get it in there, but it's doable. Once everything is in place, you can sort of check the pulleys to make sure that nothing is binding up. This is also a good time to clean out any leaves or anything else like that that is just kind of gotten gunked up into the mower deck. While you got it out, might as well take a good look at it, inspect it, and get everything cleaned up. Now we're just simply going to put everything back together. We put the belt pulley covers back on. We slide the deck back under the lawnmower. And we are going to go ahead and get the engagement cable mounted back in its bracket. We're going to attach the spring. And remember, as you are trying to get this cable back into its bracket, it can be helpful to manipulate that pulley to kind of get everything back in place. There's a little pin that goes on your cable. And of course you want to reattach your spring. I didn't actually video the attaching of the spring, but it's pretty straightforward. It was just too hard to get a camera up under there to get that videoed. Now we need to reattach the raising and lowering mechanism to the mower deck. So we're simply going to line everything back up. We're going to push that rod through the hole, and we're going to add the clip back on to hold everything in place. For the front, we need to route the belt across the front pulley, and then we need to reattach the pulley bracket. You'll notice that it goes in the third hole going towards the front. It's the one closest to the front on one side, and then on the other side we go back under and we screw the bolt back into the frame from the underside. This is kind of tricky because that bolt is hidden. It's up underneath the frame. And that's why I have the camera lying on the ground looking directly up underneath the frame of the lawnmower. So we'll just get that tightened back down. Now we're going to reattach the front raising and lowering rod. Go through the hole in the front of the mower deck, and we're going to add a clip in there to hold that on. And that's it. Everything is back together, and we are ready to cut grass again.
You know, in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24, it says, "Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works." You can never underestimate the power of Christian community. People who inspire you, people who motivate you. And we also can be people who motivate others. Perhaps you can think of someone in your life who was there for you and just inspired you to be the best person that you can be. Well, just like they inspired you, you may inspire someone else. If we think about that and just keep that in mind, then God has a way of putting us with the right people at the right time to help encourage and support one another, to hold each other accountable, and to motivate each other. So, think about the people who have motivated you. Give thanks to God. Pray to Him and just tell Him thank you for putting that person in your life. But then I want you to also think about someone who God may have put you in their life. How are you motivating them, inspiring them, encouraging them to be all that they can be? Because the scripture tells us that we should motivate one another to acts of service and love. So let's do that. Let's get out there and let's grow and be fruitful.